What's up, y'all? So I had to come outside to take a little breather, take a little mental health, inhale, exhale. Um, the kids been out of school since Monday. It is now Tuesday. They're going to be out all the way till Thursday. So this morning I went outside. It was 13 degrees. I had an errand to run at 7 o'clock this morning. So by the time I came in, I fixed breakfast and everything. And then, we dozed off, which was a natural thing because it's so early in the morning. Nothing to do at this point, nowhere to go because it's all iced up. So I ended up having a dream, and it was about my husband. So anybody knows that has been following me knows that my husband died in June of 2022. So the dream was so vivid enough to where I felt like when I got up, I was ready to go and see him and, go be with him. Let's go out or do something, you know what I'm saying? Go spend some time with him. So then I realized that once I did get up and come to myself, that I realized that he had already passed away. I'm telling you, that is the worst thing when you're dealing with grief. And I've had several dreams like this. If it wasn't about him, it was about my sister. The other day I had one, had a dream about my sister, about her, still being alive. And then when I woke up, realizing that she was no longer here. Grief journey is something else. And I was glad that my nephew wanted to go outside because, I try to shield him from a lot of, a lot of my grief that I'm dealing with, because I don't want to make him feel bad. It's okay for him to know it's okay to grieve and to be sad, but, he's 9 and he's got his own little things that he's going through. So I don't want to put more on him, because he sees me, what I go through sometimes, like when my body is hurting sometimes. And if I drop something, he'll say, "Don't bend down, let me get it." He's very helpful when it comes to that. I have a spinal issue. So he assists me with these things. So me having to come outside just to get a little breather, it clears my mental health a little bit, kind of like a reset. And it's sad that I know that this is going to be my new normal, and I actually hate it. I hate this new normalcy that I have to deal with this type of grief. It's awful, and I know it's nothing that I could do about it, but just deal with it, one day at a time. But having that dream, it made me feel like I spent some time with him, some quality time. And when my body was waking up, I felt like, once again, I didn't get enough time with him. So it almost makes me feel like I was robbed of being with him. And I can't blame God, because, God was gracious and merciful enough to call him home, because he was really sick. He was really sick to the point to where he was not living. He was very miserable. And, I'm grateful for the time that we did spend together, because we dated for about 7 years. We split apart, and he came back 7 years later. And when he did come back and we finally ended up getting married, he was dying. And he didn't know that he was dying, and neither did I. But I married him, and it was really till death do us part, because he passed away. And I feel like that, we didn't get enough time to be with each other, when we was dating, he fooled around, and, I wanted to cut the relationship off. It took me a long time to cut it off because he wouldn't get himself together. But at the end of the day, I still feel like, even when he was here, I feel like we really didn't get enough time to be together. And I always told him that I wanted to grow old with him. So the Lord felt like it was old enough. And, I'm just grateful anyway, regardless of how you want to look at it. I'm grateful. But at the end of the day, this grief journey really sucks. And, my heart goes out to anybody else that's grieving. Anybody else that's going through the same thing that I'm going through, as far as like how to feel and how to get used to this new normalcy. And I don't know how to feel normal when it comes to this type of grief. It's no such thing. You know, you just have to take it as it comes. And unfortunately, you know, you never know when you're going to be triggered. So at the end of the day, you just got to take your time, I guess. But I'm tired. I can really honestly say that I'm tired of feeling this. I'm tired of feeling this sad. What do you say with that? Not just being sad, just not feeling like it's enough. You know, incompleteness, I can say. Anyway, I'll just take it one step at a time, and everybody just have a good day. Try to, at least. Be safe. Be warm.